Hi everyone, it's Lindy on here from Pink Whisper Designs. Today we're going to make a fun little golfing card. It could be for male or female, and we're going to be doing our coloring using the Spectrum Noir Tri-blend Markers. So let's go ahead and get started. So for stamps today, we're going to be using this cute little set from Darcie's Heart and Home Art Rubber Stamps and Papercrafts. And you can see in this set, you get all of these cute little images, all the coordinating sentiments, and you get those little add-ons with son, dad, and brother as well. So I just love this. I'm going to be making a birthday card for my son, but this would be great for women as well. So with the Spectrum Noir Ultra Smooth Premium White Cardstock, we're going to do our stamping, and I'm using my brand new mini Misty. And this one is black, and it was created in conjunction with Hero Arts. So I've removed that foam mat from the Misty, and I'm going to just place my stamps in there. And you can see that these are the thick rubber stamps. So I needed to remove that mat in order to do this. And I'm placing the magnet in there, and that magnet does come with this. So now I did want to block off that little smiley face on the golf bag, and I'm just placing a little bit of Post-it note right in there while I do my inking. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this up, leaving that little Post-it note in place. I'm going to be using the Spectrum Noir Finesse Alcohol Proof Dye Ink Pad, which is going to work really well with our alcohol markers. And you want to remember to remove this Post-it after you've done your stamping, and then go ahead and stamp everything. And that's going to stamp it without that little smiley face there. So now we're going to use our Spectrum Noir Tri-blend Markers to do our coloring in the dark red blend and the dark red shades. You can see the numbers are DR1 all the way up to DR7. And those darker shades, or deep blends they call them, are brand new. So those darker colors are new to the collection. And each pen has a light, medium, and dark tone. So the light is on one end, and it is clearly marked which portion of the pen that you're using. Then I'm going to lay down that lightest color first, and then in the middle of the pen is the mid-tone. So this is the medium tone, and I'm just going to come in part way here, just a little bit on either side. And then the dark, flipping the pen over, you have the dark tip. Now I'm going to the deep blend here, and I'm just grabbing the lightest color from the deep blend, and then I'm going to blend all of this together. So it's really nice now that you have all the blending all the way up. So you've got really, in essence here, I'm using 6 different colors. I have 6 different colors available to me with just these 2 pens. And I know I've said before, I just love this because I don't need as many pens, and I travel with my supplies a lot, so this makes it really easy for me to just kind of carry everything that I need very easily, because you get 3 markers in one pen. So again, I'm going to do the little strap on this the same way. I'm going to start with that lightest color, then I'm going to the mid color, which is in the middle of the pen, flipping it around and grabbing that darkest color. And here I'm not going to add the deep shade, I'm just going to go ahead and blend that out. Now with the gold brown blend, I wanted this to look kind of like leather here, this bottom portion and that little band across the middle. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm just using the light shade first, then the mid-tone, and then the darker one. And now with the gold brown shades, which are the deep blends again, I'm just going to grab that lightest one from there. So again, these all work together now, the lighter blends and the deeper blends. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing here. I'm going to use these same 2 markers to do the wood on these drivers, these golf clubs here. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the same type of shading. Now with the ice gray blend and the ice gray shades, I'm going to color in some of these other golf clubs. And I'm using the same exact technique here. So the ice gray shades are from the Deep Blends collection as well. And again, I'm just going to use the lightest color from the Deep Blends and blend those out. And I'm going back to those same gold browns here to do this one as well. I find that these markers blend very easily. I'm not an expert on this. I don't own any Copic markers, which is why I made the investment in these. I think the price point is really good on these. And again, you get so many markers in one pen. So I find them to work really well and blend very easily. And I was so thrilled when I saw that there was the Dark Blend series that just came out. So with the Burnt Orange blend, I'm just going to color in this little guy here. And I'm going to start with that lightest color. Then I'm going to add my shadowing down towards his little snout there and just kind of pull it up towards the top. So I'm going to the mid-tone color. And then I'm going to the darker color. And now back to that mid-tone just to blend that a little bit more. And now I'm going to take that lighter tone and blend this all out. Now I did think it needed a little bit more of a shadow right up under the hat. So I went to the mid-tone and back to the light tone just to add a little bit of a light shadow. And I'm going to do the same thing here on the ears. And also down here on his arms as well. Next, we're going to be using the Brown Gray blend. And that is going to do kind of a shadow here around his eyes. And then I'm also going to use the Pale Pink blend to add a little pink to the cheeks. So here I'm just taking that lightest color of the pink and putting a little bit on the nose as well and blending that out. So I'll be blending into that pink color a little bit here. So I'm going to kind of go around that a little bit and then add my mid-tone. Add that darker tone and then blend down into that pink a little bit. Kind of going around the pink, but gently blending those two together. And then later on, I'll come back in with that pink again here and just kind of blend that out again. So I'm going to do the same thing for the other side here. So I'm going to continue with that brown gray blend and do the little tummy area and his little paws as well. And I'm using the exact same technique. And just to mention, I did buy the Tri-blend markers, the deep blends, in the 24 set. But they are also available separately as well, I believe. So it did come as a pack of 24. And like I say, the price point on that is really good. Definitely you get a lot for the money here. Now with the dark red blend, I'm going to go ahead and do the cap here. And I'm going to add a little shadowing like right along that edge here and then on the little brim as well. So to do the little sign or banner there that he's holding on to, I'm going back to the same browns we used on the golf bag. And I'm just going to completely fill this in with the lighter color. And then I'll come back and add my shading. And I want to get it nice and saturated here so that my blending will be pretty easy to do. So with the mid shade, I'm just going around the edges at first. Then I'm going to bring it in just a little bit more here. And then I'm adding the darker color. I'm going back to that mid-tone again and just bringing a little bit more down here, just a little further into this panel. And then with that lighter color, I'm just going to blend that whole thing out. So now with my blender, I had added a little bit of gray up at the top of that pom-pom. And I just used the light gray color, and then I just used my blender pen just to blend that out just a little bit there up at the top. Now with my scissors, I'm just going to trim these out and leave a little white border all the way around. To create my card, I'm using Lawn Fawn paper bag cardstock. This is a 100-pound weight. I've created a standard A2 size card, and with Darcie's Heart and Home dies, I'm going to grab that larger one. And I'm going to list all of these supplies down below. So everything would be listed below and also on my blog as well. I'm taping that down with a little bit of purple tape, and then I'm going to die cut another one out of the Strathmore Bristol Smooth cardstock. And this is the second largest one. And this will be for the inside of the card. So I'm going to run both of those through my Spellbinders Platinum 6 die cutting machine. And now you can see that's die cut a beautiful frame out of the front of our card and a little panel for the inside of the card. Now this is also Strathmore Bristol Smooth cardstock, and I've cut it to the size of the front of the card. So it's approximately 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, just a slight bit smaller so that it'll fit behind there. Now with my Lawn Fawn Cloudy Stencil, I'm going to go ahead and stencil the front of this cardstock. And I'm going to use my foam dauber and my Stormy Sky Distress ink. And I'm just dabbing a little bit off onto the stencil first, and then just to get rid of some of that excess. And then I'm just going to blend right off that stencil onto my cardstock. And I just think this color was so pretty. It's really, it makes a beautiful cloudy background. So just continue stenciling that entire panel. And then I did the same thing for that other little piece as well that's going on the inside of the card. So that's going to sit behind that frame. And this little guy is going to sit right down in here. So we've got these two great sentiments. You're the best by par, and hope your day is a whole lot of fun. So I'm going to use You're the Best by Par on this little plaque here and for the front of my card, and I'll be using that other sentiment on the inside of the card. I'm going to be stamping this using the VersaFine Onyx Black ink, which is a permanent black ink. Now for this piece here, we're going to stamp the sentiment on the inside of the card. And again, that's going to say, hope your day is a whole lot of fun. I love when a stamp set gives you all the pieces you need to do an entire card, and this one does that. With my Tombow mini glue tape, I'm just going to close this card just temporarily here. Using Gathered Twigs and Ground Espresso Distress Oxide inks, I'm just going to create a little bit of a frame around this card. So I'm starting off with the Gathered Twigs, and I'm just going to come in, not quite up to that frame, just kind of softening up these edges just a little bit. And I'm going to go around all 4 sides there. And then with the ground espresso, I'm not going to come in quite as far. And I'm just going to kind of define those edges just a little bit more. And I'm using my Picket Fence Studio brush to do this. So now I want to do the same thing on the inside of the card. So I've got a piece of purple tape here. I believe this is the 1.5 inch tape. And I'm going to go ahead and do that exact same thing all around the inside. And I just put the tape there just to mask off the upper half of the card. And with that little bit of mini glue tape there, I'm just using my iCraft adhesive remover to remove that excess tape. So now that the inside is done, I'm going to go ahead and grab this little argyle pattern here. I'm placing it on my acrylic block, and then I'm going to tape a thin strip of paper here. This measures 5.5 inches long by maybe about a little over 1/4 inch wide, not quite 1/2 inch. Just wide enough to fit this little argyle pattern. So I'm going to stamp this, and I'm just going to repeat that pattern down this entire panel. And then I'm going to add a little bit of that Stormy Sky Distress Oxide ink right along the edges just to soften it up a little bit. So we've got all of our pieces here. We can start to assemble our card. So I'm using the Nuvo Deluxe Adhesive to attach these together. You could certainly use your double stick tape here as well. But I wanted the chance to be able to move this around a little bit and just kind of adjust it till I got it where I wanted it. And then on the inside of the card, I'm going to use that same glue. And you'll see here that I almost forgot to put my little guy right in that frame. So luckily I had used the glue, so I was easily able to pull that right back up. Now I can tuck this little guy right in place here and then glue everything together. So I was able to save it, thank goodness. If I couldn't have gotten that glue apart, I would have just popped it up on the front of the card. So we can always make these mistakes work for ourselves. So now here I'm just going to finish assembling the inside of the card. And I'm just making sure that that little cloudy background is up high enough so that I can fit my little golf clubs right down here at the bottom. And I still have plenty of room to sign the inside of the card. So using my Sakura Jelly Roll gel pen in the white, I'm going to go ahead and add my little highlights here. And now I did want to add sun. This is going to be for my youngest son's birthday. So I stamped that there, but you could put anything there that you want. There is brother and dad available, but if it's for mom, just you could use your alphabet stamps to put someone's name there, which would be really cute actually. So this is my completed card. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe. And don't forget to visit me at pinkwhisperdesigns.com. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.